to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on and sit on down because today we're talking about World of Warcraft. Play the montage.
Okay, my mom just canceled my brother's World of Warcraft account.
The intoxicating game called World of Warcraft.
And he's flipping out.
They don't realize how addictive it can be.
Isn't Falstad dead?
The international addiction to an internet game.
You don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
I now pronounce me and Warcraft together from now until the end of time.
Today we're talking about World of Warcraft. It's got to be the most well-known MMORPG. Which, if you don't know what MMORPG is, you definitely don't get buzzy. Or you're probably young. I wonder what the median age is for MMORPG enjoyers. I feel like that's like an older generation thing. I feel like it's more of like 30 and up.
Everyone trying to relive the glory days.
Yeah, the glory days of the Burning Crusade and the Wrath of the Lich King and all that jazz. People who are like vanilla, I'm like, okay, dude. All right, yeah, I want to look. Can we go back to when there was like nothing in the game, please? Everyone's heard of WoW is the moral of the story. Somehow, some way, you've come across it in some kinds of different media, right? Maybe your friend had it. Maybe you saw it in the South Park episode. I don't know. You've definitely heard of World of Warcraft. It's been around for more than 20 years, and it's one of the most popular MMOs ever created. What the what else is there? Guild Wars?
Guild Wars 2! The One Piece MMO that's coming out.
Is there really an MMO One Piece game?
I hope.
There should be, with how vast the world is. My experience with World of Warcraft was I didn't have internet growing up, so I would go over to my friend's house. I had a really shitty Toshiba laptop that still had the CD-ROM, mind you. At that time, it was like right towards the end of Burning Crusade, and I remember all my friends were playing it, and I was like, I don't think I can afford World of Warcraft. Like $15 a month. I went to Walmart and I got a battle chest thing that I think had the original and Burning Crusade in it or something. Super stoked, and then immediately I was pissed because like immediately Wrath of the Lich King came out after that, and I was thinking, okay, I don't have any, I don't got any money for this. But it was mostly just going over to my friend's house either after school or on weekends. You would just stay up all night. I didn't really like the game. I liked like leveling up with my friends and like getting swords. Every time I'd go over, I'd just start a new character and we would just like, my friend would take Adderall and we would just order pizzas and make another level 60 character or whatever that night. I always liked instances or those dungeons. Now, I don't think I ever did a raid. I liked going, especially in Burning Crusade, they had a lot of cool, like weird demon instances. There was one where it ends with like a dragon fight, and then the enemy has like a cool sword. It's called like Hell Cleaver. And I remember I got that. And I think whenever you have it, you spin when you attack with it or something.
Is it a polearm?
It was like a two-handed sword. I can't remember. It was big. I remember as a kid though, I was like, this is sick. I used to draw it and stuff when I was younger. I was like, this is awesome. Me and my digital sword. Pretty sure I swear to God, I drew like Naruto. Or no, I drew Gaara.
With the sword?
From Naruto with that sword. And the control sand, and he has a badass sword. But with all that being said, it's crazy to see millions of diehard fans who dedicate their lives to this game, still to this day. And not just streamers. Get them out of me. What are you doing, bro? There's like very rabid fans. People full 9-to-5 jobs, come home and they get in with their clans or whatever and they do raids or anything else. It always perplexed me. Even whenever like it was the heyday of like Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King, which I'm pretty sure that was the most popular time. Even then I was like, I just want to play Dead Rising. You know, like, can we fucking do anything else besides this?
You gotta do your daily quests.
Maybe the thing is I never got to experience it with like people and be like have that kind of relationship with the game, but it was always fascinating and still fascinates me to this day. Like when I go into a stream and I see people, like there's streamers who get 20,000 plus viewers, just watching a guy sit there and like, it's just like, you look at the screen, tons of green. I'm trying to see if I can barter with boots with this guy, but he's just not. It's like, what the, like, what? But people, they love it. They love it. They love it. And I think it's time to take a look into World of Warcraft to see what makes the game so important to people. Why is the game so important? Something that brought this idea back to life to me recently was there's some World of Warcraft drama going on. We don't have a lot to talk about, all right? It has to do with OnlyFans, which is a World of Warcraft classic guild that blew up within the streaming community. It was made by one of WoW's biggest streamers, Sodapoppin, and is a roleplay server with 100 other popular streamers in a race to defeat Ragnaros in the 40-man Molten Core raid. And you have awesome creators in it, like Mizkif, XQC, and Tyler One, who I am dubbing the world's greatest gamer.
I like that.
What can't the man do?
Nothing.
At least in the confines of video games. How the f you be like master in League and then you end up like ranking like a high rank in chess?
I think it's Grandmaster in chess.
He's a Grandmaster in chess, like fucking Magnus Carlsen. Do you know what pisses me off more than anything? Can I say something? And you know what? Anybody can take this and they can run with it. I don't give a fuck. I'm putting my opinion out there. Nothing infuriates me more than seeing when I'm on my phone doom scrolling and I get a fucking clip. Magnus showing up late for a tournament. And it's him doing.
There he is. The world champion has arrived. He's running to his chair. It's at least he has pants on.
He sits down. Shakes the guy's hand. And he like readjusts all of his pieces. It's like, dude, we fucking get it. You're good at chess. Just show up on time and get the job done. Because then the dickhead sitting there like some fucking Polish guy sitting there and he's just like... The Only Things Guild takes place in a hardcore server, meaning a death in the game resulted in a complete character restart. The absolute tragedy. My word. While this race factor amped up the entertainment value, it was also the cause of intense internet drama. And people love drama. The streamer Pirate Software was kicked from a guild after a controversial play that infuriated the entire internet. During a dire mall run, his streamer and his 5 level 60 friends tried to retreat during a dangerous encounter. 2 members ended up dying, and the others were quick to blame Pirate Software for not using his abilities to slow the enemies. Instead, he buffed himself and ran away as fast as possible, claiming he had no mana left to help them out.
I can help a lot. Yep.
Pirate, why are you walking, bro?
What are you talking about? Why am I walking? Look at my mana.
Savage, but come on, man.
Damn. So are we in the hardcore server or not? There's a bunch of fucking pig-faced dudes that can't get out in time. I say, guess what? Restart your character. Go on eBay and buy a character.
Be Elon Musk.
I think he pays like Taiwanese kids to level up his Diablo 4 account. I don't know. I am totally number 4 in the entire world. That's how Elon sounds on. I can't believe that. I'm number 4 in the entire world. But this sparked a heated debate, many arguing that Pirate Software clearly left him for dead when he could have helped. What the fuck is going on? And of course, Pirate Software doubled down, saying there was nothing he could have done.
He just wants me to sit down, grovel on my knees, and be like, I'm so sorry, Mr. Yamato. It was all my fault, the mage. I won't do it again. I'm so sorry that tank overpulled 2 packs and a boss. Oh man, oh god. Next time I'll save you from the big mean 2 packs and a boss that tank pulled. Like, are you kidding me, dude?
But the backlash was so intense that he was eventually kicked from the guild entirely.
Pirate got kicked? Oh my god!
Good luck sleeping at night, buddy. In a statement on Twitter, Pirate reveals that he had received thousands of death threats on top of being doxxed all over the internet, including in-game, all for a stupid mistake made in a WoW server. There's almost nothing a person could do to be doxxed online, and death threats. Seeing all this crazy shit happen is kind of what sparked me to want to do this video. I'll be honest, I don't really give a fuck about the drama. I don't care. I really don't care about the video game itself. I'm more interested in people's fascination with the video game. It's not about that. If you came here for that, it's not about that. That's the last, putting a bow on that. It's done. Bye-bye. But it's insane to think that a few people dying in a video game could push a group of people to threaten someone's life, which feels stupid to say because at the same time, as I say that out loud, it's happened many times before, and probably even with this game. Sure, you could have a caveat, right? It's a hardcore server. These people's lost over 100 hours of their lives leveling up these characters, so no wonder people feel so passionate about the betrayal, right? And also you're on a streaming thing, and people are tied up with emotional response to their favorite creators and all that kind of stuff. I get it entirely, but still, it's a bit silly. So we're in Silly Town. Put on your silly hat, we're in Silly Town.
All I know is that if my Minecraft server got deleted because of a streamer, I would dox, send death threats.
I was on a hardcore server, and someone didn't use their magical abilities to slow down the enemy so I could get away and they could help, and I got killed and I had to reset my character on this hardcore server. I would either, one, I would kill myself, or I would dox and I would strangle to death the person that was responsible. Those are the two only options. I'd either put a gun in my mouth and blow up my fucking brains, or I would dox the person that did that and I would strangle them with my bare fist. And it led me to think this. If there's people that are taking it this seriously, this event this seriously with World of Warcraft, there's got to be something I'm missing with the hype of this game, with the lore, with everything. There's got to be something I'm missing, and I want to find out what it is. Which leads us into the history of World of Warcraft. I don't know, how me shoot like a spell. like a World of Warcraft spell. I want to be like a what's the big bowl race?
A Tauren.
Yeah, I'm a Tauren.
Getting milked.
I'm getting milked. I'm also one of those aliens.
Draenei.
You know, it's my least favorite World of Warcraft race. If I could be racist in World of Warcraft.
Gnomes.
How'd you know?
Because they're ugly.
They are kind of ugly, aren't they? So fucking tiny. I also hate seeing them run around the map all tiny and shit. Just like, get the fuck out of here, freak.
You make a twink, and then the gay community stole that term.
The gay community has taken so many terms, I can't say bear anymore without somebody bringing up gay sex.
This video is sponsored by Magic Spoon, reinventing your childhood one bite at a time. Magic Spoon is a perfect fit for a variety of diets because it is high protein and has no sugar. And while you're feeling good about what you're eating, Magic Spoon also has the flavors you loved growing up. Fruity, cocoa, peanut butter, you know, the trifecta. All of these flavors are loaded with 13 to 14 grams of protein and are completely gluten-free. Magic Spoon also has treats. These protein bars are crispy, crunchy, and completely guilt-free. They are a perfect snack to have in the morning or after a workout. Featuring the flavors of marshmallow, chocolatey peanut butter, double chocolate, and blueberry muffin. Each bar has 12 grams of protein, only 1 gram of sugar, and 2 grams of carbs. Plus, Magic Spoon just added their brand new granola. Try honey almond or peanut butter for breakfast and get 13 grams of protein. So why don't you treat yourself? Use my code PAPAMEAT or click the link in the description to try Magic Spoon treats or granola today and get $5 off. You can also find Magic Spoon products on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. And Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee online. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund you the money. No questions asked. So click the link in the description to go to magicspoon.com/papameat or scan the QR code on the screen for $5 off. Thank you, Magic Spoon, for sponsoring this video, and back to the video.
Anyways, the history of World of Warcraft. I figured to understand what this game means to everyone, we should look into the history of its creation and its success, just to get an idea. Maybe you aren't familiar, or maybe you just want to stroll down memory lane, which I like to do from time to time. World of Warcraft was released by Blizzard Entertainment in 2004. That company had some fun stuff happen recently too, right? What was that in the media? I'm sure we'll figure out later.
Overwatch 2.
Oh, it was Overwatch 2. That's what it was. It was a high fantasy game that was made to be much more streamlined and intuitive compared to the other popular MMOs at the time, like EverQuest. Let's just show some footage of EverQuest. Not bad. It was such a huge success that the developers didn't even have the hardware to handle the large influx of players. People were fucking smoking this thing like crack, dude. They were injecting it in their veins like heroin. They couldn't get enough. People were addicted, ladies and gentlemen. People were addicted to WoW. Players were grinding through the game nonstop, with many recounting flunking out of their college classes because of it. And the game has constantly evolved throughout its lifespan and has a total of 10 expansions so far. 10. That's fucking crazy.
They already announced the next 2 expansions.
What were they? Mists of Pandaria 2? Mists of Pandaria 3? So after the BlizzCon, we will be going back to Pandaria twice. Here to do the announcement is Jack Black. She-bow! She-bow!
That'd be sick.
Yeah. Once the content dries up, every 2 years, Blizzard adds new locations, items, playable races, and story elements, and raids to spice up the game. They do that every 2 years. Pretty crazy, and they still are keeping people in the seats. Despite people's obsession with the game, World of Warcraft had a long history of releasing expansions to poor reception. Often people aggressively critique Blizzard for bad expansions only to praise them by the time the next one is released. You come out and people are like, this sucks, fuck this. And by the time the new one comes out, they're like, you can't change it, it's perfect. Which I feel like is probably true with everything. But the cycle usually goes as this. Everyone gets excited about a new expansion. Mists of Pandaria, pandas. It's fun. Expansion drops, you can play a panda and like as a monk or some shit. Everyone complains about the new expansion. The pandas weren't as pog as we expected. People say the last expansion was better, and you circle back to new expansion gets announced. Rinse and repeat, baby, all day, every day. We're gamers.
Bet you there are players right now saying, I miss Mr. Pandaria.
What I wouldn't go to give back to fucking Mr. Pandaria. Please let me go back, please. Keep doing all these vanilla re-releases, dude. Give me back the pandas. And with all these expansions ruining the game, players began to get nostalgic for the good old days. They missed the socializing and exploration that came with the World of Warcraft when it was originally released, right? Back then it was magical. Now it's all fucking corporate, man. Players felt the game had lost the magic, which pushed people to develop and run an unofficial private vanilla servers of the game, as Blizzard refused to accommodate the players yearning for the original World of Warcraft experience. People wanted to go back to the original days, and Blizzard was like, I'm not fucking doing that. So people took it upon themselves to do it.
At BlizzCon, they're like, no one really wants that.
Have you ever thought about adding servers for previous expansions as they were then?
No. And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
Anything Blizzard does in a like convention style thing is usually there's always something funny. I always like the Diablo mobile announcement. That was like one of my favorite. Is this a out of season April Fool's joke? And I love the response to that is, what, do you guys not have phones?
Hey, just was wondering, is this an out of season April Fool's joke?
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Which one of the most popular of these vanilla servers was Nostalrius, which reached over 800,000 accounts at its peak. Almost 1 million fucking people were in this original vanilla server. And to the surprise of many, Blizzard issued a cease and desist to those keeping the vanilla servers running, forcing it to shut down on April 10th, 2016, which was about a year after its launch. People are just having fun playing the game you make, and then Wizards comes in, they're just like, hey, sir, come here real quick. Shut this thing down right now. Seriously. Hundreds of thousands of signatures were made on a petition to keep it running, but to no avail. Petitions don't, can we just say that right now? Petitions don't fucking work.
What? Change.org doesn't work?
Yeah, are you saying change.org does nothing at all? People mourn the closure of the server, hoarding together for its final moments, and it's actually pretty crazy seeing everybody there. Man, too many names, dude. I have like a panic attack.
The FPS must have been like 2.
My Toshiba laptop could not handle this right here, okay? And it was only a year later at BlizzCon 2017, Blizzard's annual convention, when it was announced that Blizzard was actively working on World of Warcraft Classic, a standalone version of the game that brings players back to the vanilla version of the game.
I am pleased and also a little bit nervous to announce the development of a classic server option for World of Warcraft.
This was an immensely profitable decision, one that brought in millions of dollars and proved to be a success even today.
More people, I think, play classic servers than retail.
More people probably play the classic version than the retail version. Or did they realize that you could be a panda? Do they realize you can be a panda and go experience Kung Fu Panda in World of Warcraft? Are they aware? Also, I want to say this too. Mist of Pandaria probably could have been, it could be, people could love it. I just remember seeing that. I think I stopped playing it at Cataclysm when Cataclysm. I have not played it since then. I just kind of see stuff from here and there. Have not kept up with it. Don't know if it's good. I just remember seeing Mist of Pandaria and being like, that looks really gay. That was the first thing I said. I was being offensive. I said, okay, that looks gay. It was fucking, I think it came out at the same time like a Kung Fu Panda movie came out. I thought it was a sponsored meme or something like that. I don't know. Sue me. There's not always rainbows in World of Warcraft, right? I mean, we could talk about some of the horror stories in this community. Also, I like how we listed one thing. Did you feel like that was a comprehensive history? I hope so. Do we talk about Leroy Jenkins in this?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
We didn't even talk about, in the history of World of Warcraft, we never even brought up Leroy Jenkins.
So let's Leroy Jenkins!
Well, if you want more of that, I'm sure there's channels out there that'll give it to you. Because we just want to get into the dark side of World of Warcraft, apparently, because we're little fucking heathen goblins. On r/WoW, which stands for World of Warcraft, the post says, what's your biggest guild scandal story you know of, or have been involved in? And someone said, so many. The first one here says, guild member, instead of just going, hey, this isn't really working out for me anymore, put thanks for having me for 2+ years, guild quitting. He faked their own death, and then 3 months later logged in to G-quit all their tunes and realm transfer. I read that as if, like, I thought I was like reading Latin after a while. What the f does G quit all their tunes mean?
Tunes are characters, so he probably had multiple characters in the guild, and so he logged in real quickly, G quit, so guild quit, and then realm transferred them off completely.
Why does that, why did he just do that to begin with?
It was probably, didn't want to hurt their feelings.
Oh, he did. So he did it because he's like, oh, if they do that, they're gonna think I don't like them anymore.
Yeah, he probably also stole a bunch of shit in the guild too.
We might not have the full story here. Okay, I never was in a guild. I just would just play with my friends online. I didn't know the guilds were such a big deal.
I play by myself and just raid.
You just raid by yourself?
And then I was a 14, so I never talk and vent. So I just type everything because I was scared.
You were afraid to speak on. I guess I could see that too. I never had a game mic. I feel like I'd just be in the room with them and you talk that. You know what I mean?
I used to be a clicker. That's a sin, a cardinal sin in WoW. You're never supposed to click. But I was a hunter, so I just had to do a rotation.
I don't know what the f you're saying. Like, I don't know what clicker means.
Clicking is where you have your abilities on the bar, is where you take your mouse and go over and click the...
Oh.
Instead of clicking 1, 2, 3, or A, B, or whatever.
Yeah. I do that still to level up in League, and people freak out at that. I'm not keyboard savvy, so I'm always like, eh. And I can't multitask it. I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot. Another one says, a guild run by a wife and husband. Wife drove 2 hours to have an affair with another raider in the guild. Husband found out, lost his shit, drove 2 hours to try and fight the guy, but got arrested during the confrontation. If you're wondering, neither the marriage nor the guild survived.
We had that too. We had a guild that also had like a husband and wife couple, and it really affected the rating when the wife was pregnant and had to go into labor. She was our healer.
Well, it's gonna happen. You know, it's like, are we raiding or are we having a kid? Like, can we choose? What are we doing here? The amount of crazy interactions guilds probably have isn't like the stories. To be like a fly on the wall in some like crazy, in some WoW tavern and hear some of that stuff. Another post says, old raid leader played clear favorites with a new tank, cheated on his wife with the new tank, and then left his wife for the new tank. Then he went on Jeopardy and lost because he's a fucking loser. The idea of an affair happening in World of Warcraft is absurd. You played really well today. You know, if you want these boots, you can have them. It's absurd. It has to be the least sexy environment ever, right?
Well, when your mind sees those pixels on screen, your brain starts...
How much of that do you think, too, is like them being enthralled with like the fantasy of the game, but they look at the game as an escape, and then there's someone in the game that they like or do it, like, there's no lines of reality anymore.
Also, well, I mean, if you're an adult, it makes sense. I remember I was like 8 or 10. I played this game called Habba Hotel. Anyways, there was a character that was a girl character, and I fell in love. I didn't even know if they were a real woman.
It can happen. I will say this. I have a buddy named Aaron. They've been married. They've been together forever. They've been married and have 2 wonderful kids now. So love can happen anywhere, which I guess if you're just casually conversating with somebody, anything can lead to whatever. But if you're already married and then like an affair starts, it's so much different than people finding love. We talked about the community a little bit and some of the horrifying stuff that happens in guilds. But let's talk about some of the horrifying stories that happen in World of Warcraft. In 2006, a guild officer named Fayin died from a stroke. And out of respect for their fallen guild member, his guildmates and friends decided to hold a funeral in Winter Spring to say their goodbyes. As wholesome as this may seem, things took a dark turn when they decided to open the invitation to Alliance factions as well. The Guild Serenity now caught wind of this and decided to enact a brutal raid on the funeral, leading to a massacre of attendees who were simply there to mourn their dead friend. So this is in the game.
It's the Red Wedding.
It's the Red Wedding of World of Warcraft. This frame rate.
It was a tragic day. We were mourning.
I like that. I think someone's definitely at their desk by their keyboard and they're like, no! No! It is f***ed up that the guy died in real life and it was like them getting together from all these people from probably different parts of the world. And they're just like, this is nice. Some guy from the Alliance is just like, we're gonna fucking kill all of them. Last year, a World of Warcraft YouTuber was forced to stop making YouTube content over death threats. Mad Skills HC, a YouTuber that focuses his channel around content where he entered hardcore WoW servers to kill bot players. This is something that Blizzard has been trying to fight off for a long time via mass bans. But this man decided to take it into his own hands.
A little vigilante.
He's like the Batman of World of Warcraft there. These bots are created by players that are farming gold to sell it later. Because this is a hardcore server, dead bots lose all the gold they've accumulated, which is a huge setback for these gold farmers. This has resulted in the YouTuber catching a wave of death threats. Some emails showed screenshots from Discord channels in Taiwan and Russia, where they detailed how they were going to cut off his fingers and feed them to his family. I am going to fucking cut off your fingers and feed it to your dog! After initially claiming his channel could no longer continue, it seems that he has continued to make bot hunting content. So perhaps he got over his fear of the bot mafia doing him any harm.
So he didn't shut down his channel.
Yeah, what the fuck? What? Alright, well, I thought he did. Well, there you go. You know, Russian bot farmers for gold. Is there a lot of money to be made in World of Warcraft?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Like, could it be a full-time... Could you selling shit in World of Warcraft be a full-time job?
Probably. You could be a gold farmer, because there's websites that people sell gold. You can also be a level up characters. Well, I used to follow this guy called Wow Hobbs, and people would pay him to run through dungeons to level up.
All right. We also got another post of what is the craziest WoW ruined my life story you've ever heard. And someone said, my best friend had moved west to a major city and was enjoying it after growing up in small towns. And he suggested he come out here and find work too now that he just graduated high school. He was always diligent, sharp, funny, and clean guy. He worked part-time all through high school and saved up to upwards $20,000. He moved into my city and I got him a place to live with my other friend who rented a home and a house. I showed him WoW when he came. He was instantly hooked. He was supposed to find work, but 3 to 4 months in, and he was still just playing WoW, smoking pot and drinking. Eventually, I started noticing big shifts in him. He stopped answering calls. My other friend would say he wouldn't see him during the day and just hear him up all night. Weeks passed and I'd see him online, but he'd barely even respond to me there. I kept asking to hang out and he'd ignore me, which really weirded me out. I finally went to the house to confront him and see what was going on, and I was shocked. His room was literally piled with garbage, both bagged and strewn. His desk and bed were covered with black garbage bags and beer cans, but the saddest part was a little nest he made for himself on the hardwood floor where he had moved his computer and would lay, play, and sleep, only leaving to smoke and bio, meaning shit and piss. He pissed and shit. I talked to him. He was out of money. I racked up his credit card completely and was behind on rent paying my friend. There was nothing I could do. I called his mom. They drove 14 hours and came and picked him up, cleaned out his room, and took him back home. He rehabilitated, but was never the same. He was never happy again and struggled with addiction like I never knew prior. He's doing a lot better now. He moved out to a farm and lives with minimal tech and helps ranchers in the area for work. But I always remember that very dark time. Jesus Christ. This guy started playing World of Warcraft. It got so severe that he had to adopt an Amish lifestyle to get him. Here's the thing, too, with a lot of WoW players, I've seen this. I had a buddy who lived basically in his grandma's basement and just perpetually played games all day, like World of Warcraft and all that stuff, too. The thing that stuck out to me in this is when he said the guy just stopped talking to him. I had a buddy who did that, too, and I don't know why. Just one of those things. I think you just get lost in the sauce. Another ruin my life post here was my friend's family and coworkers all played WoW. In 2005, my brother started dating a girl from work, and a year later, they were married. We got her sucked into the game too. They were reasonably happy until several years later, he got a job working on the road. It paid really well, and they needed the money because they got a little over their heads with the mortgage, as the majority of people do. She stayed home with the kids, playing WoW all day while he was on the road. She transferred servers with her progression guild. She spammed Battle.net looking for people to pick up groups, some empty raid slots, but when any of her IRL friends and her family offered, she'd balk and go about what a dick the guild leader was and how he'd suck the fun out of it for us. We wondered what the f she saw in this guild that she couldn't get any other progression guild. We thought she just didn't like us anymore. That is until she packed her shit and moved to the other side of the country to live with her f***ing guild leader she met on the internet, who lived at home with his parents, who didn't have a job. She told him my brother was a violent, abusive thug that hit her and the kids. God damn! Which isn't true at all. Like I had to paraphrase that, which that did not happen.
Liar, liar.
Liar, 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 pants on fire. She'd been trying to hide her online affair from her friends and family by convincing us raiding with her guild would suck. They were divorced a few months later. WoW destroyed their marriage. And luckily, as always, we get to end on a very peachy, upbeat story. Gamer couple locks children in room to gain more. A husband and wife were sent to prison for neglecting their 2 young daughters, ages 5 and 6. They were found with horribly damaged teeth, covered in dirt, and visibly malnourished. Great parents. Lester and Petra Huffmeyer, both 41 years old, are both gamers absolutely obsessed with World of Warcraft. WoW community, we're looking at you right now. They lived inside their mobile home and were unemployed, spending every waking hour playing the game. In order to focus on playing the game, the couple had locked their daughters inside their room for years in order to play uninterrupted. When their living conditions were investigated, it was discovered that the home was covered in mold and cobwebs, stacks of trash, debris, and even feces. Strangely enough, police also discovered a pile of used condoms under a stuffed teddy bear. They were charged with child abuse, false imprisonment, and contributing to delinquency of a minor. Lester was sentenced to 5 years, and Petra was sentenced to 3 years and 4 months. God damn. What is that even a WoW community thing? That's just a fucking monster. You know, World of Warcraft is, people love it. We've seen some things here. There was so much shit that we found online that maybe we'll make another video someday. And they're like, the video is not about Blizzard, it's just about World of Warcraft. I mean, Blizzard itself has its own beautiful can of worms that we could dive into as well someday. It was something that we looked into, is just some of the horror stories of, I guess, just the kind of crazy people that play these games. And also, once again, it's with everything. It's not just World of Warcraft. I'm not just saying that World of Warcraft fans are gross little gremlins. I'm saying everybody's gross little gremlins. Every subsect, every internet community, every gamer community has their own little hodgepodge of misfits, right? And it's just fun to look in on it sometimes. World of Warcraft, I cannot believe how popular it still is today. And if we find some more funny stuff, which there was, I mean, so much stuff. Maybe we'll make another one and keep going over it, because this was a nice little eye opener. So until next time, it's just a game. Don't dox people. Don't DDoS people. Just play the game. That's all I have to say.
She's right about to get to level 60. She's that far away. How do you think about this? I'm happy. Good.